That shit
There
happens.
he is.
There you go. Hey, Eddie, how you doing? I'm Dave.
Yeah, yeah, I was a little. I was busy trying to do something.
All
I
right.
hung up. I wasn't in time.
How are you feeling today?
Pretty good.
All right. Your mind clear, ready to learn
My
something
hair's
new?
clean. You know,
Looking good? Looking
yeah,
good?
took a shower.
All right.
It's not even Saturday.
Good start of the day.
It's not
Right.
even Saturday.
Wait a minute. Today's not Saturday? I thought yesterday was.
No,
Right.
I said I took a shower and it's not even Saturday.
I got it.
It's a joke. You know?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
I'm with you.
It's like a play on words.
So Eddie,
Yeah.
you found out that some of the people you associate with think the Earth is flat and NASA's not real, and it sounds crazy, right?
It sure does.
Yeah. But
And
we have
and
we
it
have a
is
couple.
Go ahead.
We have a couple. All of the people that feel that way have a couple of things in common. One, we know more about the globe model than people that believe in the globe. We all thought it was stupid and probably made fun of the person that told us that they thought that in the first place. But
Yep.
we all
Right.
decided to look and think and not Google. Because if you Google flat
Right.
Earth or anything, you get fed what the government wants you to know. Well, why does the government care about the shape of the Earth or this? The reason is it's the best. We're going to answer that by the end of the discussion, but
Okay.
it's the most important reason. You're just to get a little litmus test of where you stand. Is the government here to help us or to control us for their own benefit?
Well, I think there's definitely some control stuff going on. I mean,
Okay.
that's a fact.
Okay.
But nothing is really private. Big
Right.
Brother's always watching. Let's put it that way.
Right. Right. So let me
The bathrooms are next. You're gonna take a shit, and somebody's like,
Right. So we can start in two places. It's up to you. I'll let you bring the conversation where you want. But the only proof that anyone has that the Earth is a globe comes from NASA, okay, and Walt Disney, okay, and they were best friends, and they might be the same thing actually. But if I showed you that NASA is faking being in space just once,
right,
or 100 times, you can unwind it to they're lying about everything.
right.
So we could start there, or we could start anywhere you want. Like, how the hell could the Earth be flat? You know, we figured it out 2,000 years ago when the Greeks put a stick in the ground and looked down a well.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you like to go? How about let me start. Just get a couple things out of your head. This behind me is a balloon at 120,000 feet. Okay, so the Earth is down here. Okay,
Right.
This is the sun. It's supposedly 93 million miles away, but somehow it's lighting up this area of the Earth and not the whole Earth. You know, this whole side of the Earth. It kind of looks like it's a local light. It behaves like a local light. Like if you had a big light 100 yards away, the entire wall would be lit. But if you held the light right near the wall, there'd be a brighter spot on the wall, and then the rest would be lit. So it's behaving like a local light. So this is what people think the flat Earth is, because this is what they want you to think it is. It's a disk floating in space, a turn up, you know, or we're the only pancake planet. This is their program, and the other ones are around. We don't believe there's planets out there. Well, what are those things we see in the sky? We'll talk about that. Okay. We don't believe that they're all flat, that they're all round, that we're the only flat one. We don't believe any of that because this is two wrong models, a heliocentric model mixed with a fake flat Earth model, right? Nobody thinks that the Earth is a flat disk floating in space, right? And whenever the mainstream media does a piece on it, they show you this because they want you to think this is what flat Earth is. Let me tell you something. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. This idea, right? I'm a flat earther, but this is dumb. This is stupid. And if this is what people were telling me flat Earth was, right? I'd be like, you're an idiot. I'm not going to look any farther. And that's the whole idea of making people think this. And this is probably what you think. Okay. And when I say, when I'm picking on you, I'm picking on me because I was exactly where you were when I first heard about this. Right. So where do we go from there? We go, so in the heliocentric model, I'm going to ask you three simple questions. You're going to get them all wrong. I got them all wrong, so don't feel bad, right? We got guys that go around and they go to random people on the beach, on the boardwalk, and they go, the Earth is flat. No, it's a globe. We're going to ask you three questions about your globe, and you win $200 if you get all three right. Okay. The first question is, how fast is the Earth? How many times does the Earth rotate in one day? There is no easier question than that.
Well, I heard it's 24 hours.
Well, in 24 hours, how many times does the Earth rotate?
Once, I would think.
Very good. You got it right. Now, I said it was the easiest question. How fast is it orbiting the sun? Because we're orbiting the sun. How many miles per hour is it going to make that orbit in a year?
That one I forgot.
66,600 miles an hour. Very funny. 666. Okay. Very funny number. And then we're chasing the sun at almost 500,000 miles per hour. Okay. And a guy in a bow tie who lies told you all of this, and you believe it because he comes from a place of apparent authority. And then you never checked it out. But when all of your common senses tell you that you're not moving, right? Your common sense. Well, the Earth is so big and gravity and all of these excuses. Let me put the speeds into perspective. This is the hypersonic sled track. It's going to go by a Mach 8.6. Did you even see it? If you Google it, you can hear the sound. It's shocking. Okay. Mach 8.6. You have to believe that we're orbiting the sun 10 times faster than that, which you can't even fathom. And at the same time, in an elliptical path, and we're chasing the sun in a curved path, not a straight line, 100 times faster than this. So picture the big, rocky, water-covered ball, Earth, flying through space 10 times faster and 100 times faster in another spiraling direction. But when you go out in nature, this is what you see.
Right.
What does this tell you?
It's snowing.
Look at the water. Look at the water. Come on, that's a good answer. I like it.
I couldn't pass.
But what does this tell you? This tells you that this is not moving at all.
Still,
right?
Yeah.
If you were on an airplane or a car or anything, and you filled a dinner plate with water right to the rim, and that car took the slightest turn, sped up or slowed down the slightest bit, that water is going to slosh all over the place. Right? When there's an earthquake, pools throw the water out of the pool, tiny little shaking of the earth. We're going 10 times, 100 times faster than what I just showed you. And we have scenes like this. Common sense, God-given common sense says we're not moving. But this is just, don't just trust your senses. We're going to do measurements. We're going to look at the whole thing. All right. So if the earth is not a ball, what does this mean? They tell us Antarctica is about 13,000 miles around, between 10 and 13. They can't give us a solid number. Very interesting. Okay. And there are no photos, high altitude photos, whatever's taking them, we'll get into that later, of any of the interior. It's all just a cartoon, right? Antarctica is a cartoon, and they don't want you seeing it for some reason, because Antarctica is not a continent at the bottom of a ball. If it was, you could take a boat and sail around it in a certain amount of time based on your speed. Boat goes 20 miles an hour times 13, divided by 13,000 miles, and you should be able to go around. But nobody has ever done it, right? No one has ever done. Well, actually, I'm sorry. It has been done. Captain Cook did it. It took him 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles. Okay. The equator of the Earth, right around the middle, is 24,900 miles, they tell us. So down here is a much smaller 13,000 mile circle.
Right.
But he went over 60,000 miles, and that's because this is how the Earth is set up. Antarctica is the shoreline of our pond. Antarctica, they do tell us some truth about it. It's the highest land on Earth. Highest land on Earth. Well, that makes sense because on a pond or a lake, the land is higher than the water, and that contains the water. Large bodies of water at rest need a container. Lower the side of a lake, what happens? The water will flow away. Okay? Right. So here we are on our world pond. We got our islands, our continents all over, and you could sail all around, right? And you could go, you can circumnavigate. We'll just get this out of the way. If we circumnavigate, hold on a second. There it is.
Right.
There is a magnetic force at the center of the Earth, at the center of our pond. So here's a magnet, and here's a compass, and the needle is pointing towards the north. I'm trying to push this compass west. I have to keep turning it to the right to maintain a heading of west. West is 90 degrees to this needle, right? So I just went west. Now I'm going east, and I can look at my compass, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. I end up right back in New York where I started. Okay.
Right.
So that's circumnavigation. Doesn't prove the earth is flat. Now watch this. If I say, okay, I'm going to go west, but I'm not going to correct, I'm not going to keep turning to follow west.
Right.
Already going south. South is every direction away from north. If north is behind me, south is in front of me. If north is behind me, south is in front of me. Okay. So south is every direction away from the center, and that'll lead you to Antarctica. What's out here is the question. Okay. So if I go south on a globe, I should pop up over here. But guess what? Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. 0 have done south. Now I'm going north, north, north. And as soon as I pass the North Pole, I'm going south. Compass just did a 180.
Yeah.
Right? So that's south. That's south. That's south. That's south. South is every straight line will eventually be south. Right? If you try to point east, you're pointing south. If you try to point west, you're pointing south. Isn't that strange?
Yeah, it is kind of strange.
Yeah. So that's the beginning right there. So that's what flat Earth is. Now let's just destroy NASA and SpaceX and Jeff Bezos and all of those liars, so you can understand that they're here deceiving you, and this is the lie that they use to control the world. Because let me ask you a question: if I had a dog, let's say I have a wild lion, and I put him in my yard, quarter acre, got a nice quarter acre fenced in. That lion is going to pace the fence. He's going to be pissed, right? But I put him in a bigger yard, maybe an acre. He's still going to be like, what the hell's going on? But if I put him in a safari park 50 miles wide, right, with a big fence, he'll hit that fence, he'll turn around, go right back into the park and live his life, right? If I put you in that park, what happens when you see that fence? I want to know what's on the other side of that fence. I don't care how big the park is. Humans want to know what's on the other side of the fence because we know the grass is always greener over there. Okay?
I might not, though.
Well, you might not because you're like, hey, it's pretty nice over here. I get it. But humans have curiosity. And,
nosy.
Yeah, well, I'll agree with that.
And humans are naturally nosy.
Yes, yes. So, what? I'm just trying to find a quick map for you here. Sorry about that. So, go ahead.
I have a quick little joke about the nosy thing.
All right.
I had a little thing in one of my bathrooms with a little shelf in it. And I put a note in it. I said, if you're looking at this, you're a nosy person.
Oh, nice.
And nobody ever admitted it, but I know everybody that used, it's like a half bath, but everybody that's visited and used that bathroom, I'm pretty sure they saw that note.
You put another one with.
And if it was my brother, he would have went through your whole medicine cabinet.
Put a little dot on the wall and say, "Smile, you're live on YouTube."
We can just that's the nosy thing.
All right. So, just real quick before we go to NASA, do you know about the Antarctic Treaty?
No, I never heard about that.
So, in the 1940s and 50s, we started exploring Antarctica. And Admiral Byrd, the youngest decorated admiral, flew out there and he came back and he said, there's land bigger than the United States filled with resources, oil, uranium, coal, natural gas that is bigger than the United States. And no human ever has seen it. There's no animals. There's no trees. There's nothing except.
I was in that video, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they go, oh, Antarctic Treaty, a dozen countries signed on and all of the major countries in the world signed on after that. That was in 1959. You can't even question this treaty until the year 2041. Now with all of the resources, we're looking for oil, we're looking for food, oil, food, looking for, all of these fuels. Don't you think ExxonMobil and other places would be like, hey, let us go to Antarctica. Let us go. Nothing. They're not even allowed to question it. And in the treaty, it says you can't question this treaty until the year 2041. 2041, they're going to kick it down the road, if we make it to 2041. Antarctic Treaty, nobody can go explore beyond Antarctica, or even 60 degrees south is as far as you can go. And that's like 1,000 or more miles from Antarctica. You can't even cross that. And there's 8 military bases on different islands and land surrounding the whole pond that if you cross it, you are immediately accosted, turned around, arrested, sunk, put in jail, because you're not allowed to go there. What if the world was set up like this? Here we are in our pond. This is Antarctica, a couple thousand miles wide, right?
Yeah.
And then there's more water and then more land. More land is extra land, extra territory. So if somebody lived on the extra territory here, out here, we might consider them an extraterrestrial from outer space.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? Here on Earth, physically possible in our pressurized system versus the ridiculous idea of an infinite space vacuum with burning balls of gas in it. Burning balls of gas in a space vacuum. That make any sense to you? You're not a scientist, I know, but burning balls of gas in a space vacuum.
You need oxygen.
Well, we've been conditioned a lot to all this stuff. So
absolutely.
And I know there's a lot of BS that comes up. False propaganda has been around since the early days. So every government does it.
Right.
So something I'm aware of. So there's always a possibility. I don't say that that's impossible. Sometimes, but if it is true, then we've been
lied to on a
it's a pretty horrendous.
It's crazy, but let's the only proof we have of the globe is from NASA. Let's just go through some things NASA's been doing. Okay. So this is their National Buoyancy Lab. This is where they do all of their training for their spacewalks on the space station. In the pool, they have a model of the space station. Okay. And they do this stuff. We used to have some video where they had green screens in the pool, and they're like, "Well, that's make it more realistic for the astronauts." Well, that doesn't work, right? The astronauts, that's after effects. Okay. Well, look what they're showing. This was on the BBC. Look at this TV monitor here.
Yeah.
This is their green screen monitor.
Yeah. Right.
So we caught them red-handed. And there's no excuse for that, right? So, and then often on spacewalks, when they're NASA's showing a spacewalk, we see little bubbles floating out of a crease or something. A bubble goes this way, a bubble goes that way, because they're filming in all different directions underwater, so you can't figure out which way is up. And these bubbles are going around, and sometimes we see a scuba diver's leg will appear for a split second because they didn't compose it out or take it out. So hold on, let me where did I go? Oh, there we go. So here's a spacewalk. This is interesting. Right. This guy goes in there. Look at this door. Is this gonna hold pressure between the vacuum of space? The vacuum of space. This is what they got. This is it. Look, this guy can barely get in this door. Okay.
That's supposed to be proof that
this is
made out of plastic.
It looks like canvas, right? Right?
It looks like plastic.
Yeah.
It looks really bad. Really bad.
Yeah. So let's look at another one. This is I'm skipping a few. So they're all together. Hey, we're in space. We're in space. Look at their food. It's just sitting on the table. How's it sitting on the table?
With no gravity, yeah.
With no gravity. It's just sitting there, but these guys are hanging from wires, okay? This is all wires and green screens and nonsense. But I believe they do stuff like this just to drive us crazy, to make us believe stuff. So here's an issue where their composite, Don Pettit, says, I figured out a way, I'm tired of drinking out of a bag, so I made a cup out of some leftover plastic, and I put my coffee in it, and he's drinking his coffee, and he's showing us how it floats. Well, look, the coffee layer got separated from the cup. Right. This is a green screen glitch.
Right. Well, they can do anything now with special effects.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing: why are they using special effects when he's showing us that he's drinking coffee in space? So that's fake. Here's another one. Chris Hadfield loves to play his guitar and sing. So these guys are in separate rooms. They're in green screen rooms. All of this is green screen. Okay. And this guy's holding his microphone and he misplaces where Chris actually is because they're not in the same room. And he sticks the microphone inside of his neck. Look at it. The microphone is inside his neck. Right? inside his neck.
Okay.
Absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense, right? And then other times, you know what a zero-G plane is, where they take these jumbo jetliners and they go up and they go really fast up, and then they do a parabolic arc, and you get about 20 to 40 seconds of weightlessness where you float around, right? It's called a zero-G plane. You can spend $5,000 and go do it yourself. But they do that, and then they show us, they do that 100 times with astronauts in there, and they film clip and clip and clip. That's why when you watch stuff on the space station where they're floating, a lot of times you edit, and all of a sudden its color's different, and everything changes. Okay, here's one where the astronaut comes in from the side. Look, he's faded in. Watch again when I show it again. Watch this thing on the wall behind him, and you can see it right through his head. Look, right through his head.
Right.
Why are they editing this? Why don't they just show us the raw footage? Okay. Oh, they're trying to make it nice for you, right? They're trying to make it nice. So you see that. Now watch these guys, right? Sometimes cameras glitch. They're like, oh, it's cosmic rays. But when he moves this arm, it reveals the green screen. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Green screen. Right there.
Wow.
Right? Why are they using green screens in space? All you need is one of these things. But I'm going to show you more because I want you to be, okay, NASA's faking it. Therefore, we didn't go to the moon. We didn't go anywhere. Okay? So these guys are talking, flipping. They're always flipping the mic around. This guy's flipping his hat around. And this guy goes floating by way, way in the background. So I zoomed in, right? I zoomed in. Look at this guy. He's hanging from wires, and you can see the harness. Okay? There was probably supposed to be a layer on there that was supposed to hide that, but they didn't. Okay? Why is he hanging? So we exposed this, and the NASA fanboys are like, oh, they use wires there for safety. What? Wire, why in zero-G, the wires are going to go all over the place and probably strangle you. And if they're pulled, they might chop your head off. But watch, in the script, he's supposed to hand this hat to this guy, and he's supposed to put it away. The hat's not real. And he moves his other arm. The guy thinks it's the hat and takes it and puts it away. Oops. Right? I'm just repeating it here. He takes it and puts it away. And then watch, I'm going to zoom in on his eyes. He's like looking at the monitor like, oh, fuck, I screwed up. They're screwing up their words, right? He's like, oh, shit, right? And this happens all the time, right? Yeah. Look at him. And he swallows. He can't talk. Amazing, right? Here's another one, right? This woman, this ball is filled with helium. It's real. But look here. That's not real. And she's playing with it. They literally put a little beaming thing in there like Star Trek, and they had a beaming noise, and they showed that, and this was live for kids. Okay, so this is called augmented reality, where you're manipulating things. She probably has contacts on or is looking at a screen that's behind the camera, and she's maneuvering things in real time. And that's how they did it in the movie Gravity. And so they're faking playing with their little Paxi mascot. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But they confuse you. This ball is real. It's got helium in it, so it's like neutrally buoyant. And then the other thing is not real. Here's another one. These guys at the end of their live stream, they glitched out. Everything that was floating that was fake glitched out, but everything else stayed perfectly clear. Mm-hmm. Right. And then they quickly cut and they go right back to mission control. And that's it. So let's do another one. So Chris Hadfield loved to do this experiment where he wringed out water. Now in this experiment, they literally had 20 cuts inside of like a 1 minute experiment. Like edit, right? And let me just go back to that. But this is the guy doing the same thing on a zero-G plane. It's the same exact thing. They're showing us this is exactly what he's doing. This is real on a zero-G plane. This is also real on a zero-G plane, but they're pretending to be on the space station with electronics all over the place and water's flying in every direction. Okay, I have a video on my channel, on my DITRH right here, YouTube channel, called I Have to Go to the Bathroom, okay? And it's a guy that does a walkthrough of the International Space Station bathroom. And you watch that, NASA's fake. It's so frigging crazy, the bathroom situation.
I guess because the poop doesn't want to go down, right?
Well, they're pooping into a little thing that's like little canister that's got a bag in it.
Well, they would need a vacuum.
And then when they're done with the toilet paper, they have a stick that pushes it down, right? So it's a shit stick, okay? And they stick it down, and then they just hang the stick on the wall, and for some reason it hangs on the wall, okay? And then they close the bag and have to put another bag in there. I mean, if you were in space with all of your bile and intestines floating in every direction, nothing is sitting on the bottom of your stomach. It's all over the place. You'd be throwing up. You'd have acid reflux. You'd have diarrhea. It would be a disaster, okay? NASA shows us this. Reality shows us this, okay? I mean, if you look at their stuff, it is ridiculous, okay? And this, they're hanging on wires. They have this system. It's NASA admits this. It's called the Argo system, and this is how they practice for spacewalk. So this guy's practicing for a spacewalk, and this is the real spacewalk. Do you see any difference?
I know. I mean, like
same thing.
Nowadays they can do anything with film.
Right. Well, you know what? It's getting. You're right. It's getting harder and harder and harder. Right. Watch this guy as he goes around the corner. His arm fades out. It fades. I'll zoom in, and you can see this thing on the wall through his arm. Why is his arm fading out? Well, because they're using transitions when this is supposed to be a live video.
Like Wimpy there.
Yeah, well, Wimpy. I'm showing you an example of the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then this is same thing. Hold on. Let's fade out. Here we go.
Well, in space, your weight is also different, and you age quicker.
Right? Well, that's a cool story, bro.
Something. Seeing is believing. That's what I always live
right.
by.
So, do you know that there's
unless I see it, like I don't disregard any possibility because you never know. There's been so many lies.
Well, I just showed you a dozen lies.
So to their people, and so that's why I go by the seeing is believing thing.
Eddie, that's a great way to go. That's a great way to go. I just showed you a dozen or more things where NASA's faking space. Can you safely say, I don't believe anything NASA tells me anymore? Pretty much, I think.
Well, I never did anyway.
All right, good. Well, you're halfway there.
In this video, you could see they're hanging from harnesses. They're flipping around.
But anybody can miss it.
Why is this guy pivoting from his waist when he flips in space? If you go like this in space, you should just go flying. But everyone's rotating from an access point, right? Why is he rotating from an access point? Why is his shirt tucked in? Why are they allowing her up there with long hair? If you wanted to go to space, you'd have to shave off that beautiful head of hair you got, okay? You're not going to let, like think of military, fighter jet pilots. Show me a woman with long hair. No.
And the hair is clearly hairspray because it would be flowing as they move.
Right. And think about this in space. Okay. Hold on. This is Kamala Harris talking to. Oh, this is the interesting one. This is another little glitch we caught. And so this guy is always playing with the wire. Right. This wire isn't real. Okay. It's just to make you think they're in space. Now watch, his hand goes through the wire. Right. And he's talking into a toothbrush. Right. His hand, the wire goes right through his wrist. It went right through his wrist there. I'll zoom in a little closer, right? And slower, watch. So as he's playing with this wire, right? This is all just computer graphics, and sometimes the graphics get confused. Watch the wire behind his hand, through his wrist, right? Right back through it skimmed through his hand, but watch. Behind his hand, through his wrist. Now, if he didn't play with this wire, people would be like, is he really in space? This is why they did it. If her hair wasn't flowing all over the place, be like, is she really in space? Right? So here's one with this woman. She's turning a rod that goes through. It has gaskets somehow keeping the air in. And she's closing this window, but she's not looking at it. She's looking at a monitor. And because this is a video, and she's not even matching the turns exactly. If you really watch it carefully, it doesn't match, okay? And she's doing pretty good, but there's a bigger problem, okay? in space, they supposedly work out for 2 hours every day to keep their bone density up, right? We watch them and they're sweating. They can only sponge bath. There's no showers up there. There's very limited clothing and towels and everything. And look at her hair. Look at her hair. Is that a good hair day?
Yeah, for me.
Is that a good hair day? You're having a good hair day. But look at her hair, okay? Look at her, and look at her makeup. Who's doing her makeup in space? Why do they have makeup in space? How do you put makeup on in zero gravity? Okay? You choke to death and die from all the
And
time.
women can find a way of doing it. So,
This is professionally done makeup. Okay?
yeah.
Right? How do you put rouge on in space? You would just fill the air. It would be, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
There's special, you know what? Guaranteed in the next couple of weeks, they're going to come out with a space makeup kit and they're going to show us how they put makeup on because they watch this stuff, right? You guys are exposed, right? Deal with it, right? Here's another, just let me show you one more. This is another good one. These guys at the end of their interview, they're like, could you do a flip? This guy goes flying up. I don't know how he's going up because there's a ceiling above him, but we'll just watch that. And when they do the flip, the wires get tangled, okay? So this guy's like, oh, let me go up out of the way because, you know, there's too many wires here. And they start doing flips. This guy gets tangled in his wires. Oops. He can't get over. He's stuck upside down. And then this other guy in the red, he's going to go hit the reset button, right? And if you had sound, there's actually sound on this where you can hear the button and the reset of the wires, okay? So they're all screwed up. They're all tangled. They're trying to distract. He's trying to get over here to where the reset button is. And then, hold on a second. You'll see it in a second. And so he's like, this guy's stuck upside down, tangled in his wires. And he just hit the reset button there and watch what happened on the back of his shirt. I'll zoom in. Watch what happened when he hit the reset button. The wire pulled his shirt out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
There's the wire, and you can see the wire for a split second.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. This stuff happens all the time. That's all I have to show you. They're faking space. Therefore, they're not on that space station. Therefore, there is no space station because there is no proof of a space station. You said you have to see it for yourself. Guess what? The space station is the most, I would say it's the most technological construction project ever, right? Would you agree? I mean, building.
Yeah, it's very costly.
And mission control would be very, very, very involved in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mission control would be very, very involved in it. And it would be the most filmed construction project ever. Okay. Guess what? There's no video or photographs of the space station being built. It was just built. This is the only thing they show us. This is an animation, as you can clearly see. But they built the space station here on Earth. Different countries built different modules, and they sent them up there and assembled it for the first time in space. This is made by 2 different countries, and guess what? They made the hatches different. Like, oh, I thought you were using metric. I thought you were using this. So they had to create an adapter. Okay, never built on Earth, right? So they're not communicating, and they put an adapter on it, and this is how they did it, right? All of this while moving 17,500 miles an hour, falling around a globe Earth. I'm sorry. If you believe this, I can't help you. Okay. So this thing is ridiculous. It's absolutely scientifically impossible. Well, wait a minute. I saw it go by. I've got an ISS tracker. Yeah, you saw something as bright as the sun go by that was nice, you know, when I've watched it, and it's bright. It's bigger, brighter than any star, right? But if you think about it, you know what a 747 looks like when you're standing next to one? It's pretty damn big, right?
It's huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
But when you watch one at cruising altitude, it's tiny. It's this tiny little speck up in the sky. You're like, yeah, it's a big jumbo jet up there, right? If you doubled the height at cruising altitude of a 747, could you see it? And the answer is absolutely not. It's too small to see. Well, the space station is 50 times farther. And you can see this light brighter than the sun, reflecting light, right? And when you watch all the spacewalks, does it look that bright? Well, because that light has to bounce all the way back and look like a friggin' star, like a piece of the sun floating by in the sky. That's a polar trick. Okay. There's different ways they do it. They have modified B-2 bombers that are parts of them are transparent. They have LED lights on the bottom of them. There's 5 of them. NASA whistleblower told us, and they do them along a track. Other times they're using a projected image, a hologram, if you will, into the sky. They're tricking us in many different ways. And that's why
this looks all animated to me.
This is all animated.
Yeah.
There is no photographs. There is no imagery. And guess what? China now has a space station, right? They forgot to film it also, right? And they're doing all sorts of yeah. Look at the glass of water right there. Glass of water.
And the computer too, laptop.
Right. Well, and during this, the laptop, one of the laptops, which was tilted forward, fell closed. Why did it fall closed? Why did it fall closed? Right? Glass of water. The glass of water right there. Okay.
Really bad production.
Thank you.
Right? They should get Spielberg. You know?
Right. And here's the friggin' launch.
Lucas would really. They should have hired him because they really would have. Good.
And ever notice during any of these launches, it's close up, edit. So we just had 2 edits. It hasn't even left the pad yet. Okay, 3 edits. Okay, now it's going to go up. Let's see. Is there another edit coming? Look how flat that horizon is. Beautiful. Right. All right. This is interesting. Where's the smoke trail? Oh, 4 edits. All these people. Yay. Right. I don't believe this is a real scene. Right. 4 edits. Now it's also 5 edits. Okay. And now we just see a little dot. What is that? They're launching something. They're launching a little firework up there. Okay. They're launching a firework, right? But like, well, how could everybody be how could everybody be lying? Remember the space shuttle? That was our time, right? Yeah. Here's the space shuttle being filmed from the space station. Okay. Right. And this is an old film. And watch this. This is absolutely ridiculous. First, I don't understand why that super hot jet fuel doesn't melt everything below it. But this looks CGI to me. But yeah, that's another story. But watch this footage. Let me just jump forward a little bit. So it goes up to the space station, right? And it does. Look at it. Look, watch this maneuver. Okay, so this thing is traveling at 17,000 miles an hour. 17,000 miles an hour. And it's doing this flip. Okay. What the hell's going on? And then watch, it's going to do another 180 and then it's going to stop rotating. What stopped it from rotating? What stops this thing from rotating? Show me the thruster. Show me something. Okay. This is just time-lapse footage of a high altitude airplane. And this is a cartoon.
It looks like a
watch. Stops and now it moves forward. Where did that energy come from? Okay. Absolute nonsense. I could do this in my closet. Look at this. Okay. Look at this.
Well, yeah. They're not
right?
gonna,
so let me ask you a question.
Hold on a second. Let me, because I'm on battery power here. Yeah, I got to plug.
Go ahead. Go get your plug.
Where are we? Hold on a second. How did I lose you here? Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, my computer's about to die. I'll be right back.
Gooch.
Yeah. So, got a question.
Oh.
What are shooting stars?
Great question. Don't know. But I think they're electrical in nature. I think they're electrical discharges from the dome. Yeah. So
I had an idea about that. I was thinking maybe the dome is a living force of some sort, and maybe it sheds. Renews.
Great, something to definitely look into. But in my app, do you have my app? I assume.
Yes. Yeah, I have it.
So in the app, if you go to the frequently asked questions, scroll down to the 4th line, and meteors and asteroids, and you will see a whole bunch of videos that they don't want you seeing what meteors and asteroids are. Explanations that make perfect sense. So one thing that, when you watch meteor showers, and they actually, to me, prove the Earth is stationary, you never see them going down. If meteor showers were coming into our atmosphere, you'd be times where you see them coming up because someone in the south would see them going down.
Yeah.
Never ever does anyone see a meteor going up.
Yeah.
Right. Back to the regular scheduled NASA destroying program. Okay. So here is the space shuttle. I propose this is a helium balloon. Okay. See this fence right here? Okay. Eddie, have you ever been in a hurricane?
No.
Okay, well, a hurricane is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
My father lived on a little island south of Puerto Rico, and Hurricane Hugo hit with 220-mile-an-hour winds, and everything on the island was destroyed. Trees were pulled out of the ground. Metal poles were bent over. Cement things were pulled out of the ground. Sure. 220-mile-an-hour winds. Okay, and that's room temperature. What's that?
Yeah, Vieques.
Vieques, yes.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
I've been there over 100 times. Okay, and so it was crazy. But think about that. That's 220 mile an hour winds. Now, this space shuttle is blowing out superheated plasma, if you will. Okay, at over 17,000 miles per hour. That's faster than 220 miles per hour. Okay. And nothing happens to this fence. Nothing happens. Everything would be obliterated, right? This thing weighs 4 million pounds. Watch it. It goes up and then it goes down. Ready? It goes, and when you move 4 million pounds, it doesn't, this one doesn't show it. I have another one that shows the bounce. Okay. But the edit is they're trying to show that these people are close. Those people are so far away, the space shuttle looks like a tiny little dot, right? They want you to think that they're right there, but they're so far from this, they can't even see it until whatever it is goes up. Here it is, the little bounce. So watch. There's no way you get 4 million pounds moving up. Ready? Here it goes up. It's going to go up and then come back down. See? Just came back down. So you don't move 4 million pounds like that, okay? Edit. A lot of smoke, just like you guys use on stage, okay? And this thing goes up. Now, it's a smoke machine.
It's like kids on steroids.
Yeah, but there's no way. Right? Now, look, some of the rockets today don't have this smoke trail. They were definitely launching something here. A smoke machine with a bright light sticking out of the bottom of it to make you think it's on fire. And this helium balloon is going up. It curves away. And when it was 35 miles downstream, the solid rocket boosters are ejected. We'll see that in a second. Okay. This thing is going 17,000 miles an hour now, right? Doesn't look like 17,000 miles an hour to me. It looks more like 100. And in the video, you could hear it the same time you see it. Well, if it was only 20 miles away, it would take 90 seconds for that sound that happened right there to come to your ears, right? You can just Google space shuttle launch and get this exact video. You hear it and see it at the same time. Common sense, sound and light don't travel at 20 miles away. It would take 90 seconds for that sound to get there. We hear it and see it at the same time. These things are now going sideways at 17,000 miles an hour. I'm sorry, things don't work that way. Okay, the air would rip it apart long before. But here's where it gets really bad. Okay.
Yeah.
The orange tank, which I say is a helium balloon, this is falling back to Earth. And it's supposed to burn up before it gets to the clouds. Okay? Now watch, in about 10 seconds, a little piece of paper is going to float by, which is going to give you something to compare it to. Is this a 40,000 pound, you see it just went by, 40,000 pounds falling, or is this a balloon? Is this a Macy's Day Parade balloon? But here's the worst part. Guess who's filming this?
I don't
You
know.
have to be a skydiver following it.
How are they filming this?
Wait. So here's the thing. The guys that are in the shuttle that are on their way into space, traveling upwards at over 17,000 miles an hour, are filming this out the window. This is falling down faster than you can imagine. And they're going up faster than you can imagine. And they're filming it.
That's what they said. They're supposed to be filming it.
Them filming it from the window after they've orbited the Earth once.
Again, that looks animated to me.
Well, this to me looks real. I'd like a balloon, right? This is absolute and total nonsense, right? But here's how easily you are tricked, right? I showed this to a couple of people and say, hey, from the International Space Station, why don't we see any land? They're like, well, it's because they're over the ocean, and I could see curvature. But this isn't from the space station. It's from our front yard. We just turned it upside down, stuck a solar panel over it, and that's how easy it is to trick you. Imagine if I had $65 million budget to do this, because NASA gets $65 million every single day
from our tax dollars.
Yeah.
To bullshit us.
Millions?
65 million every single day for as long as you can remember. But that's falling. Look, you can't keep him in frame. And this is from the platform that he jumped off of, right? What the hell is going on here? And now we have video that shows this thing being recovered by some sort of camouflaged plane. And when you see that, you're like, what the hell is going on, right? Remember the Challenger crew that blew up? What happened to them? Remember? Yeah. Remember them, right? 6 of them have twins with the same names that talk the same, that work for corporations, work for universities. And none of them attended their twin's funeral, right? If you had a twin brother and he died, would you speak at his funeral? Yes.
Of course. Twins.
None of them showed up at the funeral. Funerals. Okay, I'm done. If you don't know NASA's fake, now NASA's fake. Well, why is NASA fake? NASA was created to make you think you live on a ball. Period. That's why they put men on the moon. The moon is not even a place that you can go. Okay?
Well, I always wondered why, it's been like 60 years since we've been to the moon or something.
Right. Well, supposedly we're going back now with the Artemis, right?
I would think we would have gone back and forth several times by now, not wait 60 years.
Well, we lost all the technology.
Yeah, that's what NASA claims, that they lost the technology.
Right. So so let me show you this first. So
pretty heavy stuff.
This is the SR-71, right? Our spy plane. It goes Mach 3.2 times the speed of sound. Wow. Why doesn't it have any paint on it? Because it gets so hot from the air friction that the paint would burn off. Yeah. Okay, so think about this. Is that aerodynamic? Pretty damn aerodynamic, right? Mach 3.2.
That's fast.
It goes any faster, it actually starts to break apart. Okay. All right. So that's pretty cool tech. Check this out. This is, I believe this is the Artemis rocket. Yeah, this is the Artemis rocket. It's got PVC piping on the side of it. It's got square clamps. It's not aerodynamic. Okay. And it goes Mach 25. Is somebody lying to you?
Hey, man, you never, like I said, all this stuff.
Eddie, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I can teach Eddie a new trick. I guarantee I can. You have to, we all went through this. Our ego dies and we actually find ourselves in a much better place because instead of being on a speck of dust, floating through an infinite space vacuum where an asteroid could take us out at any moment, where we're running out of food, we're overpopulated, all these things that they tell us, we find ourselves at the center of creation on a solid foundation where we have the ability to manifest things with our thoughts. Your life is because of the way that you think, right? Everyone's life, right? Everyone's life is because of the way that they think. They create their reality. They don't want you to know that. Well, what about situations and stuff? Yeah, your thoughts create your situations, okay? This world is far beyond what we can explain. But once you understand the deception, it's literally like the Matrix, right? Remember Keanu Reeves in the Matrix?
Sure.
Everyone's plugged in to this fake world. The globe is the Matrix. It's a prison for your mind, right? On the globe, there's nothing more to discover. Planets are so far away. I don't know if disclosure is ever going to happen during my lifetime or my kids or my grandkids' lifetimes. Okay. But the map I showed you earlier, What if disclosure was just a couple thousand miles away here on a scientifically possible pressurized Earth system, flat Earth, like a level plane where there's other ponds with other suns? Okay, how does it all work? We're figuring that out. But we know one thing for sure. We don't live on a space testicle surrounded by water floating in an infinite space vacuum where the sun's gravity can hold on to Mercury and Venus and Earth and Mars and Jupiter all the way out to Pluto. But the sun's gravity ignores all the moons in between, right? There's hundreds of moons around all of these planets, and they're just the planet holds on to the moons, okay? None of that makes any sense whatsoever, okay? None of it makes any sense whatsoever. And once you start wrapping your mind around that and start really thinking and looking, it's amazing, right? This check this out. This is down on a flat Earth. No matter where you are, Australia, right? South America, whatever. Down is down, right? Point down, right? Down is down for you, for me, for everybody. Up is up. Now, left and right are relative to your position. Forward and backwards, if we're facing each other, my forwards, your backwards, okay? This is what the heliocentric model, these people are laughing at us because this is their down, okay? Their down, it goes to a magical atom that says, I am the center of the Earth. Everything come to me. What about the other atom that's halfway between the center of the Earth and the outside and goes, no, I'm the center. Who measured that said you're the center? I mean, gravity is so frigging stupid. It's unbelievable. Right? This is crazy.
This makes
sense, right? But these people tell us this is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Big Bang Theory was created to make us all feel like an insignificant accident.
Right.
Yeah.
But why, if
why the lie?
Why go through all that trouble and expense? Why can't people just be honest? If it's none of us can get in a plane and go into space, and
because space doesn't exist, nobody can. Okay?
And knowledge is power. They have the knowledge. Keeping the knowledge from us, they have the power over us.
Right. Who are they? Well, here's who they are. These are the days that we know, but these are just the puppets of the real puppet masters, right? The Bilderberg Group, the United Nations, the Council of Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, right? The Club of Rome. These are the people that rule our world. They're all Luciferians. I don't know what the hell they are, but they're not here for our best interest. They're here to control us like cattle, like sheep, okay? They're here to keep us sick, have us working in the system, and have us creating the world that they want. Okay. When we are free, they don't grant us our rights. We have God-given rights. They just try to take them away and then offer them back to you as a privilege. My rights are no one's privilege. They're my rights.
Right.
Okay. So why the lie? With all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, why does flat Earth matter? Because if you're spinning out of control, lost in space, you have no idea what your power is. You have no idea where you are. You don't have a good footing, right? You're afraid of a lot of things, right? And once you start seeing the truth of our world, then the whole world kind of opens up to you. You unplug from the matrix. You stop feeding these government trolls, these parasites, your energy, because that's what they want. This is a spiritual war for our energy, and they want our energy to power their lives, right? What if they're hiding technology where we wouldn't have to pay for fuel for our cars or electricity for our houses or heating gas? Well, that would free up some time for some people, don't you think? If you didn't have to worry about those expenses, right? So they're hiding all of this from us. They're hiding our ability to thrive, to live to our full potential. They don't want us to know that. They teach us nonsense in school. They teach us nonsense math, right? They teach us accounting. Okay, accounting's cool, because it works for business and you can keep track of the books and stuff. But money's fake. Okay, money is fake. Well, money is worthless other than to burn it. And get some heat off of it. But they have us believing in their money system, and they just create money out of thin air, and then they take most of it back from us, right? You know about that.
And charges interest.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, recently, you know about the guy from Virgin Airlines. I forget his name, man.
Richard Branson.
Yeah, and not Elon Musk, but
Jeff Bezos.
Bezos. They both went into space. One ship was very phallic. The other one was, used a jet to get up.
Well, if you look at the Virgin one, it looks like a vulva. It looks like a woman's private parts, and the other one looks like a big penis.
Right, exactly.
Okay, and it's pretty crazy when you compare them side by side. But they didn't go to space; they faked it. Let me prove that to you right now.
That's what I'm asking you, right?
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. When you do a concert, and you're, let's say you guys are doing a concert, I don't know, in your own place, your own arena or whatever, you have to file permits and everything with the town. And one thing you have to have is an ambulance. You always have to have an ambulance at a major event. There always has to be EMS workers because shit could go wrong, at sporting events, ambulances. I ran a school carnival. I have to have an ambulance. Okay. Right. That's normal. It's safety. Right. So William Shatner, this old, overweight, guy who lost all of his money, they launch him into space, slingshot him into space, right? And then he comes back to Earth, parachutes in, right? Again, edit. Look at this. This looks fake right here. It's like not even going down, right? He's in a chair and he's going to slam. Look at that. William Shatner would shat his pants if that happened, let alone break his back. Okay. And what happens? Okay. What happens? Where are the ambulances? Because when he lands, all we have is they bring up a staircase. Let me get to it. And everybody comes out. We got Jeff Bezos right here. We got some wives, some unnamed reporters, no ambulances, no doctors, no medical people, no nothing. And here comes Fatty himself, William Shatner. And he's like, yay. And he gives Jeff a big hug. Horrible actor. Horrible actor. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was classically bad, but it worked for Star Trek.
For Star Trek, he was. Come on, I grew up on Star Trek, like you did.
I love Star Trek.
Yeah, me too. But he's horrible because he's he's horrible when he's lying to the world. Everyone knew, when he's doing Star Trek, he's like, okay, I'm playing a role, I'm not lying, but he's feeling, it's hard to lie, and that is ridiculous. The other thing is when they film Blue Origin launch, this is so here it is, looks a little phallic, right?
Yeah.
How many edits? Ready? Before it even launches, ready? So we got 1. It ignites, little fire comes out. Oh, fire. 2 edits, right? This is the film. 3 edits. It hasn't even moved yet. Oh, it's moving, right? Here comes 4 edits, right? Where's the thrust? 5 edits. What caught this? A drone? Okay. Where's the, it is animated. I'm going to show you something. Where's the smoke like the space shuttle had? What's it burning? It's pretty clean fuel. Okay. But watch when it goes up, there's a CGI glitch that happens. Okay. Watch the top of the rocket.
Yeah.
Watch 1, 2, 3. Bam.
Broke apart. Oh.
And then it come back together. That's a CGI glitch. Okay. CGI glitch. And then, and then when they film it from the ground, they always have the cameraman. So with this rocket only, he's very stable in his Z axis. What's he doing here? Okay. What's he doing? Okay. They're laughing in your face. Okay.
Man's favorite thing, I guess.
Yeah. And then they had 4.5 minutes of weightlessness. Okay.
He got lonely,
4.5 minutes of weightlessness. There's never more than 4 seconds, right? Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there we go. The little up edit. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. They just keep editing it. And then people are changing positions. Like, where'd you go? Oh, look, I'm upside down. This is a set in a 0G plane, and they're just floating around. They're looking at a green screen. This is just a green screen. They're putting this background in. Okay. If there was 4.5 minutes, this camera, all of the cameras, we should have uninterrupted footage. Nope. We get 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds at a time. Okay. Because this is a whole bunch of zero-G shots. This is a green screen, right? This is a green screen. That's it. Yeah. Easy schmeezy.
Well, the landing thing is pretty interesting too. And all the filming, I always say, like, how are they filming that? I mean, is there somebody next to it, like in another plane?
Right.
Because that's the stuff that gets me. And so I guess it's like a magician. If you got to be in on the joke, on the gag.
Yeah.
Right. And you know now that SpaceX is landing rockets on drone rafts upright. Okay, upright. This is a 1957 Russian movie. Yay, landing on a raft, and now we're doing it. Right? That's called predictive programming to make you believe this could happen. I'm a sailor, kite surfer, windsurfer. It's blowing 30 knots out here. You'd have a hard time standing on that raft, let alone land this 40-story, huge multi-ton thing in this wind. It's blowing like 25, 30 knots out there. And it lands bullseye on there. It lands absolute bullseye. Okay. Let's look at it. There's a couple of rocket landings. Where are my rocket landings? Rocket landings. Here we go.
2018. Right?
So look at these guys.
This thing looks animated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Look at all this smoke all of a sudden. Oh, and it lands, right? Oh, yay.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Animation has gotten so good now.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can make everything look so real.
So now watch this. This is the rocket going up. We got the curve of the Earth here. This is going up. This is the first stage coming down. These little milk crates steer it. Okay. This is going to land on a drone ship. Now look, the Earth is flat here. When they switch from one camera, it shows a flat Earth. And then the next time the camera switches, it'll be a curved Earth. Right. So this thing's coming down. These milk crates are steering it. It only has one thruster that's keeping this thing upright. Okay. Nonsense. And look, here comes the raft. Right. We're gonna see the landing, and we're getting there. Everyone's getting ready to clap. And there's the raft. You see it right there. It's landing. It's 800 miles offshore. And it glitched out before we landed. And then we have to wait. And everyone's like, oh, and then they'll show it. And then they'll show it. And so here's another one. So watch. This is a different one. Okay. Again, watch curved Earth. Next shot, flat Earth. Now look, we're way above the clouds. This thing is falling. Again, multi-ton. So now we have the ground shot of this thing coming down, right? It's coming down. Here it is, right? We're starting to see the thrust over here. And what do we see? It lands. A 6-foot-tall person can walk underneath this. This is gigantic. Okay. Again, same thing. Coming down. And what are we seeing? Okay. $65 million a day for this nonsense, right? No, that's NASA. This is SpaceX.
Well, SpaceX, right? He funds it himself.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Here's another one. Just let's watch this one. Right? It's coming down. Now, I don't know if you've been out in the ocean. It's always calm out there. I've been in the ocean. There's swells out there. There's no way this thing that's going to be going up and down and swells. It's always beautifully calm. 800 miles off the coast of Florida. I'm sorry. That's a rarity that you get a flat ocean. Look, concave Earth. Concave, right? Then here comes the landing. Now look how high this is above the clouds. This is in real time. All of a sudden, we're going to be below the clouds. All of a sudden, we're going to be landing. The camera usually glitches out. They go, oh, because of the vibrations, the camera glitches out. But the camera that's on the rocket doesn't glitch out usually.
There's just so much stuff out there now that it's
Eddie,
crazy.
Called your friends crazy for saying that the Earth is flat and NASA's fake.
I'm not calling anybody crazy.
You're saying you're shocked, but here's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because we're programmed with, all your life.
Right.
You think it's one thing, but, a long time ago, the false propaganda has been around for so long, and every country tries to make the other country look bad. So it's kind of,
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. So here's the thing.
It's hard to believe that any of that.
I want you to listen to your friends and ask them questions like, hey, where, how do boats, what about boats over the horizon? What about seasons? Because all of those things are answered. And take the time and pay attention to this, learn it, because it literally makes your life better, because the world is way more interesting than the nonsense they teach us it is. This is an amazing school we're in, and the lessons will never stop. But if you're lost in space, spinning out of control, living in fear, wondering what the government's going to do to you next, well, you're just a sheep, and you're never gonna get as far as you should get. A lot of people are doing well. You might be having a great life, enjoying yourself. Great, right? But you're missing the boat. If you don't see where you are, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know the power that you have, you might be doing much greater, much better, much greater, same thing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I offer 3 Bitcoins. That's like 65 grand today. For 1 globe proof, right? People go, well, Dave, you made a lot of good points, and yeah, we can't trust NASA, but I still think the Earth is a globe. I'm like, can you give me 1 reason? Well, not right now, right? And I'm like, well, how about I'll give you a couple weeks, okay? Couple weeks. Give me 1 proof the Earth is a globe, and they come back, well, I can't see Polaris from the south, right? And I'm like, well, it's because it's too far. It's the same reason you can't see a street light 2 miles down the road, right? Because it merges with the horizon, right? And a street light is on your same level.
Yeah.
A star is above the atmosphere, so you got all the atmosphere to deal with and perspective. Okay. Mm-hmm. Once you learn about that, you'll be like, well, that doesn't prove the Earth is a globe. It kind of works better on a flat Earth. And then once you kind of get there, I think it opens up a whole new world.
You don't believe there's a space doesn't exist?
I believe that there's water above us. But again, anything above where we can get, the highest I think we've ever gotten is like 75 miles. That's it. And anything beyond south, 60 degrees south is complete and total speculation, right?
And also, when it comes to drilling down into the Earth, the furthest anybody's ever drilled, I believe, is 8 miles. So right. Nobody knows what the core is or whatever they try to make up.
We were all brought up on this meme. This is a meme. Because if the Earth was the size that they tell us, and the deepest hole they ever dug, they drilled like a quarter of the way through the skin of an apple, if you're using it as comparison. And they were wrong every step of the way. No more rocks, no more water. They hit rocks, they hit water. So they couldn't tell what they were going to hit next. They hit an impenetrable barrier. They tried for years and years and years to get through it. They couldn't, but then all of a sudden they know what the next 4,000 miles is. This is an unscientific meme. What's this at the center of our world? Well, they told us it's a molten metal core. Well, if you know anything about magnets, you heat up a magnet, and before it melts, it hits what's called the Curie point. That's where it loses all its magnetism. So a molten magnetic core, again, is another
volcanoes are real.
Volcanoes are not real.
You don't think they're real?
I think there is lava. There's lava tubes that come out of the ground, but there's not cone-shaped mountains blowing up, throwing lava out from the center of the Earth. There is lava coming out of mountains. There's lava coming out of lava tubes.
Yeah, but
right?
there's been some disasters, man.
Well, like Mount St. Helen blew up, and again, I don't know what that was. That could have been man-made weapon, but
Pompeii, back in the day, Pompeii.
Well, Pompeii, that was something else also. Again, when you look at volcanoes, right? You've never seen, other than in a movie, a volcano spewing lava out of the top. Right. So where does lava come from? Well, I believe that there's electrical currents going through our world, and we live in this electrical world. And when you add electrical currents, this is putting electricity through here, it gets molten hot. It gets molten lava. Okay. There's lava. And so these electrical currents create heat. I think that, I'm sorry, that wasn't I think it was an electrical thing. It looks like a flame, but either way, when you put electricity, these passive electricity through the Earth, they melt everything, and you have these lava tubes, and that's how lava comes. There's lava coming out in Hawaii right now as we speak, right?
Yeah,
volcanoes, yeah, but it's not coming from the center of a ball Earth with a molten magnetic core. Okay, not coming from there. So
where do you think it's coming from?
I think it's coming from just below the surface of the earth, and it's not, and everything. The only real forces on this earth are electricity and magnetism. They work together, and we live in this dielectric plane inside this toroidal field. Again, we're figuring it all out. These are way more advanced lessons on this and energy transfer. But
earth pimple.
Yeah, well, say that. Yeah. So, any other questions? Any other questions? Because I want to wrap it up.
That's about it. I mean, I find everything interesting. I don't put anybody down to believe. You can believe whatever you want to believe. You know what I mean? Everybody has that right. I mean, I definitely know anything's possible.
Well, belief is the enemy of knowing. You believe you live on a ball. Can you give me one reason?
Well, you know something? I'm not going to bother worrying about it that much. I'm just going to try to enjoy what's here. you
can do that. That is completely
that's
your choice.
You enjoy life, and
the only thing you can't
worry
do
so much about all the BS that goes on with propaganda.
The only thing you can't do is tell flat earthers that they're crazy, right? Because that's just an uninformed.
It's not fair. People like, I mean, I've seen things. Anything's possible. Like.
Anything's possible other than a ball.
Example, but it's just like religion too. It's everybody just believes in has different beliefs, and they're allowed to. And there's a possibility that maybe there is something out there. I'm not against or putting anything down for it.
Well, I believe there is other life out there on the Earth's plane. Mm-hmm. I believe that there is more civilizations. I believe that I believe that there's hundreds, if not thousands, of other continents out there.
So why don't they go out there?
Because we're not allowed to. They don't want us, because if they allowed us, and again, that's my belief. There's lots of stories, there's lots of information that would lead me to that belief. I'm not claiming it as a fact. I want the right to go explore the outer lands, right? Bring us back, regular, rigid, inflatable airships, and then we could go safely explore beyond there, because we don't need to carry fuel with us. And what would we find, right? There's some great books, the Iron Republic, about land beyond Antarctica, where an advanced civilization that was here in the 1600s left and went out there because they didn't like the tyranny that was going on. So they literally picked up and moved to the outer lands. Well, our controllers don't want that to happen again. So they told us we live on a ball.
And that knowledge gives us power and takes the power away from them.
Yep.
It's very interesting stuff, and like I said, you never know. Sometimes you could believe one thing, and all of a sudden you find proof that that's never been real. So
Coach, set him up with my app, all right? And then have him watch the daily video each day. So this is an app I have. You can put on your phone. And every day there's a new short video right here. Just a short video while you're having your morning coffee. Click that video and watch the video each day. And you'll be like, huh. And the next day, what's that?
Your own map. You got your own map there.
It's an app, yeah. It does. It answers all your questions. It has frequently asked questions.
You must be rich then. You got your own map.
I am not rich. This app, you have no idea how much this costs. This costs more than going on tour.
That's why I said you must be rich.
It costs more than going on tour. It has tons of.
I sell T-shirts. A lot of T-shirts, man.
I actually do sell T-shirts. Right? There's my T-shirt shop.
I can't help being funny. It's just I'm not trying to goof on anything.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I'm
not being disrespectful. I'm just messing around.
Right. So
Cooch gets a kick out of this stuff.
It's a great app, though. It's got a lot of information.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Definitely. It's free? Is it free?
No, it's $3.
Oh, damn. Well,
yeah, you got to pay for it.
Do I get a discount, man? Because
it's a whole $3.
The whole $3. I'll buy it for you if you want.
It's $3?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
You download the app, shoot me an email, and there's a subscription. It's $11 a year. It's a bank breaker. But after you download the app and say you have it installed, tell me your username and I'll activate your subscription for free. Real quick, we're doing a summit for anyone that's listening before November 11th, 2022. We have an all-star panel of truth tellers from High Impact Flicks to Amanda Vollmer to Peggy Hall Owen Benjamin, and they're all from a flat Earth perspective, presenting over 2 days, Friday and Saturday, and it's going to be hysterical and informative. And with the code FE for Flat Earth, FE Dave 50, you get 50% off. So it only costs you $50.
Where is this going to be?
It's online. It's on YouTube. It'll be on. We'll send you a link, and then you could watch it. And it's going to be phenomenal. And Peggy Hall, we just interviewed her yesterday. I don't know if you know, she is the Healthy American. Her presentation is going to blow everyone away. Worth the price of admission.
Anybody else? You should try to get one of the Beatles, man.
And there you go.
Owen Benjamin, he's the comedian guy, right? Yeah, does the podcast from his backyard.
And Alex Stein is him and Owen are going to do some comedy. It's going to be hysterical.
What about Hudak? You got Hudak in there?
No, we don't.
Frank Hudak.
The website is TEMMS, which stands for True Earth Mount Meru Summit.live, but you can find everything at flatearthdave.com. flatearthdave.com. That's where you find my app. That's where you find all my YouTube channels, my TikTok, and the summit. FE Dave 50 is the code. So flatearthdave.com is where you find everything. I don't like giving out 100 different, my YouTube's this, and my this is that, and then everyone forgets everything.
Yeah, just go to one place.
flatearthdave.com. Everything you need in the world is there, including love. All right, listen, guys, I got to roll. Thank you.
It's been great.
Great. It was fun. Thanks for all the info.
And anybody listening, if you have a podcast or know somebody else that thinks Flat Earth is dumb, hit my Book Dave button on flatearthdave.com.
Okay. All the best, guys.
All right, guys. See ya. Thanks.
All right. Bye.